Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. I hope the videos are helping your designing process. If they are, please go ahead and hit the subscription button, tap on that notification bell, leave me a like, really appreciate that. And if you also drop a comment down below, even if it's just an emoji, take 5 seconds, I'd really appreciate that. That'd help my algorithm out, get the videos out to more people. Also, if you'd like to donate some coffee to the cause, you can go down here, right below here. There's a super thanks button. You can tap on that and donate some coffee and keep me awake. What we're going to do today is do a little kind of antiquing ring, and we're going to try and keep it as parametric as possible for as long as possible, hopefully through the whole thing. So let's go ahead and get going on this. First thing we're going to do is go to our Tools tab and just grab our ring rail and then right click to accept it. I'll go to Offset Outside Ring Rail, and we'll just do that. Outside ring rail, sorry, not offset. And then I'll go ahead and change this because I want to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to put a Euro shank on it. I'm going to hold down shift and grab my handle here while I'm holding down shift and drag it out to 2.5. Keep shift down, drag it down to 2.5. And then this one I'm going to take up to about a 5. Just so that the ring goes stud, not ting, right? Now what we'll do is we'll go to our gems. Of course, it'll cost more, but it'll be a lifelong ring, or it should be. We'll go up to our gems and we'll do a gem on ring rail, and we'll select that, and it drops it out there. But before I do that, let's go back to here, okay? So we want to get this so that the surfaces, when we make them, are kind of all NURB surfaces, and not, or as close as possible, not all, because our seam's right here for right now. So let's change that seam, I guess I should say. So let's select this one, and we'll drag this one down to here, right click, we'll select this one, right click to bring back that command, drag it down to our bottom as well, and then we'll just take both those and turn those to our ring rail. Now we'll go to gems and do that gem on ring rail. And of course it's going to put it at the bottom, just bring it around to the top and drag it up to where you want it, right? So we'll do it around here and right click. Okay. So it'll just make things easier later on when we do the cutout for the inside of that halo that we're going to make. Now, there's lots of ways to do this halo type design. This is just one additional way. But what we're going to do to the halo to give it a little extra design or whatever might be interesting to you. So hopefully you'll find that useful. So let's go and grab our gemstone. Let's do an offset. Yeah, do an offset, and then I'll just take it out to a 0.2 and then bring it down a little. Something like around here, and then I'll right click to accept that. I'll right click to bring it back, select my gem, right click to activate it, and this one we're going to take out to about a 2.5, something like that, and then drop it down just a little bit below our original offset curve that we put out there, and I'll just right click on that, right? And we can go back and adjust that later if we need to. All right. So what we'll do now is go to our curves and scroll down here till we see a bunch of points, and we'll just do the drop down, that single point right there. I'll make sure I turn it. I'll turn this one to red, and I'll just drop it right there at our center of our world at F4, right? So I'll type F4, and it'll drop it right in the middle. Okay, so we have that out there. Now I'll just give it some shading, and we'll go to green layer here so we can do some surfaces, and we'll get a surface. We'll scroll to the very beginning. We have our parametric loft, so we'll just take that. We'll select here and select here, and then right click, and then right click. Now you can sit there and rename this by going to your 3 dots, going to rename, and type inside surface halo or whatever you want, because we're going to have a lot of things out here. It might be good to go ahead and rename those, like those offset curves. You might inside offset halo, inside offset curve, or whatever, outside offset curve, because we're going to have a lot. If you need to go back and grab something, it might be easier to do it with them renamed. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get over a cold here, so I apologize for that, and if you hear me sniffle, my apologies. Let's go to loft again, and we'll just go ahead, select this one, and we'll select that point and drop that one down, and we'll accept that one. And now if you're in 3.5 or earlier, and you go to loft and try to grab the surface, you won't be able to. You might have to go back and bring back your curves and use your curves to loft, or you can go to curve, dupe edge, and dupe the edges that way as well. But I'm in 3.8 at the moment, so with 3.8 I can go to loft, and I can just pick my edge there in that edge, and it'll give me that surface, and I'll click there. Now my other two surfaces disappeared. Lofts, right, no big deal, they're over here darked out, which means they're just hidden. So I'll go to my three dots there, hit show, three dots, and hit show, so it brings them back, right? So I have everything out there. I'm just going to grab all these surfaces here and this one up here, holding down shift, and then I'm going to go to my tools and parametric join them together, and then right click to accept that. So there they are, and it darked out all those lofts because now they're under the join, right? Okay. So we have that. Now, before we get in here and start doing all kind of extra work on the halo, we want to find out if our halo is exactly where we want it to be. So what we're going to do is select our gem, go to our settings, and we'll just drop a head on there. And I'll turn off we'll turn this down here to purple, and we'll just turn off green to get started. We'll bring it back later, right? And I'll go ahead and, well, we'll just do this editing first. First thing I want to do probably is go to my rail count and drop it down to 1, and then I want to change it to 6 prongs. And we'll go ahead and drag that entire top up a little bit, something like that. And then we'll go over here to level 4, and we'll make that a thicker rail. Well, let's change that profile. It's up to you. I'm going to change it something like this here. And my height, I'm going to make it a little thicker. And my thickness, one should be fine. And when I did that, you can see now I have a little offset out there, which I really don't like. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that rail and bring it in. Something like that, and take a look at, okay, it's gone. But check my prongs. I have a little space right there I do not want, so we're going to go to level 2, grab this little handle here, base nudge, so it'll just nudge our bottom in there a little bit so it butts up, everything's connected, right? And then I'll just go ahead and bring back my green here, and that's not too bad. They're in our green, which is what we want, and we have a little space there, and it's not totally going out, but you could also nudge those in maybe a little bit as well if you wanted to, those prongs just a little bit more, and we might end up doing that later, but let's go ahead and continue on from here. I'm going to grab this point here and turn it to gray and hide it. We might need that because if we move that point, this whole surface here will move with it, so you can get all kind of different angles with that surface going on. All right, so we have this. Now, let's see. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, we have check my surface, make sure it's closed. It's closed, okay. So we have that out here. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab our inside ring rail, and I'm going to grab my ball here. I'm going to swirl it around so it's more to my red lines to the right, or the X direction. I'm going to hold down shift, and I'm going to bring that out quite a bit, and click off it, click back on, and then turn it to my cutting layer, and we'll go to solids and do a Boolean difference, which is parametric, with this surface here, enter, this surface here, enter, and enter again. And I'll just take that because we might need that later, which we will. I'm going to turn it down to this yellow layer here and turn it off, right? And we have this nice little halo thing going on out here, right? And it's all fully down and everything. Okay, so we might as well go ahead and get this cut out. So, excuse me. What we're going to do, let's see. Okay, we'll go to our curves menu. We'll go to a dupe edge, and we'll go to this one here. Now, if we didn't move that seam point, we'd only get half of it, right? That's why we dropped that seam point to the bottom. So now we can just select the whole thing, right? And I'll go ahead and right-click and right-click twice to accept that. And then I'm going to select that curve, go to my top here, and I am going to offset that curve to the inside around a 0.7, I think, and then just accept that, right? And let's see, down here, what I want to do is I'll go ahead and grab another dupe edge, and let's dupe this one here, and then I'll right click, right? Okay, and now if I take that, oh, right click twice, yeah, and if I take that curve, if I can select that curve, let's see if I can grab it. There we go. And if I do an offset here, you can see it's not really with my line there, right? So that's probably, I could do an offset on surface, I guess, which may be fine. Let's see, but this we don't want because if we offset it, yeah, it's going to drop it down. So let's get rid of that. I just hit escape to back out of it. So what we're going to do is take this curve. Well, let's do an offset on surface. Let's see if that works for us. Let's do offset this curve, not that surface. Select surface, enter, select our curve, enter. So it takes it up to a 0.1, right? And let's see, it grouped them. Okay, so. Not really liking that, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Let's do that again. So offset, select our surface, we'll hold on shift control this surface here, right? And then hit enter or right click, select our curve, and then we're going to change that to offset number one. We only want one, and we're going to change it to we'll change it to 0.7, and then enter, so it drops it down just a little, and then we'll just go ahead and take that, right? Okay. All right, so we have this. Let's go ahead and hide green at this point. Now this right here is on our surface area, right? So it's coming right to the surface, right? I want to leave a little gap there. So I'm going to take this one and we'll try that offset from here. And it's still doing it a little bit weird, but let's take it to 0.7. Yeah, negative 0.7, and we'll take that. Now I'm going to, let's see if I do, is that one? Actually, I don't like that. I'm just going to take all those and delete it. We're going to bring back our green and do that dupe edge one more time. We'll do it from here, and then we'll just offset it, enter, take it, enter. We'll do an offset to the inside 0.7. There we go. We'll just go ahead and take that, right? Now we'll hide our green. All right, and we'll go ahead and take this outside one, the one we duped, the original one, and we'll take this one here, and we'll turn those to gray. We don't need those. We only need these two, right? So what I'll do now is go to surface, and we'll just go back to loft and do a loft from here to here, and then right-click. So we have that surface, right? And it hid it because it's, we'll take this surface, turn it to here, and then turn it off. So there's our surface, right? And that actually looks okay. What we'll do here is we'll select this and we'll go to cap. So it'll do the top part, but it will not do our bottom, right? So I'll go from here. Now this one, if I do the parametric offset, I can't pick a point to click to, right? To keep it right on. So what I'm going to do is, well, actually I could probably do, I could do a cut here actually. Let's go ahead. Let's keep everything parametrics. Let's go ahead. Well, I don't know if this will. We could do a, what is it? Not solids. is it solids? Wire cut? It has to be a solid, so no. Okay, so we're going to take this. We'll just take this. We'll go to our curve. And we'll go to offset curve through point. And I am going to snap it right there. Okay, so it's this purple one. Let's just change it to yellow here, right? It's that purple one. Actually, I need that so that it's touching, right? So what I'll do is, this curve's not parametric, so I can't adjust. So let's delete that. Excuse me. Let's take that curve, go to offset through point, and then I'm going to snap it to that mid, or the quad there, right? Okay, so now I have two curves. Well, I thought I had two curves there. One's purple. No. Okay, offset. Quad. Right click. I only have one, huh? Okay, we'll just use this one. I'm going to drag it out. Okay, now I'm going to go back, hold the shift control, delete this surface here. Shift control, delete this surface here. And then I'm going to take this and I am going to split with this and then hit enter. So now I can get rid of this piece here and this piece here, and then just get rid of that. And now it's right there on my ring rail, right? So I can go back again, or I should have just left that surface out and then shift control, bring it back out, because I just created an extra step for myself, or couple actually. Get rid of these again, and now I can take this surface and split with this and then hit enter, and then get rid of this surface here, and I have that blocked off, right? So I'll take this surface, and this surface at the top here and join them together. So I have a closed poly surface. I'm going to take this and turn it to cutting, bring back my original, select that surface, turn it to green, and grab my cutter there. And I'm just going to bump it down ever so slightly, so just a little piece. And what it will do is give us a little bit extra thickness at the top there. So I have that piece there. Now we'll go to solids. Boolean difference, this surface enter, and this surface enter, and this piece we'll keep, put it down here with our yellow other one, and we have this piece here, right? And it's cut out nicely. That's what we want, okay, for this kind of design that we're going to be doing. So we have this, we have a nice little halo, and it's got a 0.7 thickness here and a 0.7, or a little bit larger than a 0.7 at the top, and it comes at that angle, so it's got some good meat up here at the top, right? So it'll be a nice sturdy ring. Now we want to add some design extra stuff to it, right? So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and go to our wireframe on all viewports, and I'm going to turn off my snaps, and then we'll just go to the top one here, okay? And we'll go to curves and extract an ISO curve. Actually, let's go back to our viewports. No, before we do the ISO curve, we want to go ahead and do arc. So arc direction, this one here. Snaps are turned off, and we're going to change this to yellow. And this is the bottom of our prong, this is the top of our prong, so we want to come in somewhere around here, and we'll just go right here and kind of, let's make this bigger, and we'll kind of go out something like this here, not past our wide direction, but somewhere close, and then right here, and kind of bump that out so it's got a nice little moon shape, right? We'll take that, we'll go to transform, go to mirror, and then right click to accept that. And this one does not need to be parametric for any reason, so I'm going to go to curves and make it easy for myself. I'm just going to go to the old blend curves, and this one, it'll just go ahead and give me something that I kind of content with, right? Right click, bring it back, select this one, and it'll do all that. And I'm going to grab all that yellow and I'm going to join it together. And it's broke history, no big deal. It's nothing that I need history on. So we'll go ahead and take that there. All right, now we'll give it some shading. Now I want to get this curve up here on this surface, but I want it at that angle, right? So what I'll do is we'll go to extract an ISO curve from this surface, and I'll just drop it right there at that seam point, right? And I'll take that. Now, if I do the curve from two views from here with just that seam, so if I do curve from two views from here to here, you can see it's not giving me the entire curve that I had down here because that line is not long enough to recognize that curve. So I am going to back out of that. What we're going to do, we'll go to all perspectives. What I'm going to do is grab that curve, right? And you can see my gumballs, I can't really grab my 2D and or 1D it, right, or anything, my little handles here. So we need to get this gumball in extension, or we could extend it, I guess, but it's just as easy just to go to your gumball, click on the menu there, and go to Align to Object. Now it's with my gumball, so I can drag that line out as far as I want. It's going to break history on the extract ISO curve, but that's not why I really want that there anyways. I want it there for my curve for two views. So I'm going to go to my curve for two views, select this curve here, select that there, and now it gives me the entire shape, right? And I'll just right click, and I can select this curve. Right now it's on that surface, and I'll just go to my menu and take it back to C-plane, and then I'm going to bump it up just a little bit, something like that. Right, so I can adjust it now, and it's going a little too deep into my prong. I think I want it out a little bit more, so I'm going to select this one here at the bottom, and I'm just going to drag it out a little bit, and I can keep adjusting it to wherever I think that it'll be nice. And I just want it touching a little bit there, right? Maybe back just a little bit more. But you can keep playing around with that as much as you want, right? Now I'm going to select these two curves because we can always use these at a later time, right? And we'll turn those to gray and hide them for right now. We'll just focus on this one. And actually, I'll bring back gray and go to my surface and go to loft again, parametric loft. And I'll select my little shape here and go to my point and then right click, and I got that surface. And then I can take this and go to cap, and now it's capped, right? And there's one thing I forgot to do, but it's no big deal because I can still do it down here on my gray curve for my curve from two views, right? And as you can see, you know, maybe I want to open that up a little bit, but whatever I do down here to this bottom curve will be taken care of up here, so we can adjust it all day long, right? But I'm going to do another one. I'm going to take this curve, I'm going to go back to my curves and just do a parametric offset to the inside, maybe around a 0.4, and make sure there's no overhanging or anything, and then accept that. And okay, so I got that one, and I'm just going to go ahead and do curve from two views one more time. Select this one and then select this one, and it puts it up there on my surface, right? And I'll accept that. So now I'll go ahead and hide all my gray. And at this point, what we can do is we can go to our surfaces and we can do a push pull. It'll ask to select my curve right here and select my surface right here. And I can do a push pull and then bring that to whatever depth I want it, right? So I'll just take it at 2. If you want to drop it more, right? Right now let's turn it to this color here. It hid my curve, so let's go ahead and show that puppy, you know, and then let's turn on gray. So if I want this to be maybe a little bit deeper, I can just drag this up a little bit, right? And now I can go back to that push-pull. There's my push-pull, and edit, and I can drop that down to maybe a 0.3, so it's a little bit deeper, right? So you can always adjust it. All right, so at this point, I'll go ahead and take this curve, and we'll put it back to gray. And we don't need any of those at this moment, so we'll just turn off all gray. All right. Now well, we can bring that back. Actually, we can use this curve here. we can select this curve here, and we can go to our curves. And I know I made this a 0.4, right? So I can go in here and do an offset, and then take this one into a 0.2 and hit right click to accept that. And then I can select this to do some other things with, which we will in just a second here. First thing I want to do is maybe lay out my stones. So I want 2 gemstones on here in this little marquee type shape here. So what I'll do is, you could do gems on surface and just kind of lay them out, or there's another way, maybe a little bit more accurate. We'll just grab a line curve, we'll turn on our snaps, and I'm going to go right in here and snap it to that mid, and then come down here and snap it to that end, right? Excuse me. So I know it's right on my surface, no big deal. So I can just take it now, and I can go to gems, and I can go at gems on curve and kind of play around with those, and they're going exactly in a line, right? That one needs to be better. So let's close up that spacing so I can get them a little bit closer together, and maybe a little bit smaller, right? Maybe a little bit closer together. Let's see, maybe this direction here. There we go. And I can just go ahead and say, maybe that's okay, or whatever. You can adjust them however. And then I can take these, go to my settings, and go to prongs on surface. First thing we'll do is bump those puppies up. And maybe make them a little bit thicker, not nudge. Well, we can nudge these out a little bit to give it more shape, right? And we can also make those prongs a little bit thicker. So let's make them to 5.8. Right, and then we can come over here and go to our end prongs and end prongs, and we'll do that drop down here, and we'll go to 1 1. So now it takes it to the 1, and we'll just go drag this one up. And actually, I think there's another one down here. Yeah, it's 2. So we'll just go back to the 1 1 here. We'll drag this one up some, and we'll drag this one up some, right? And let's see, we can go play around with our commands over here. Let's activate both of them. Let's do a nudge a little bit, bring it in just a smidge, 2.4, 2.8. Let's go down here to this nudge and do the same thing, 2.8. You can type it in too. And our diameter, I think, was 5.8. So I'm going to double click in my end diameter, so I just get the 1, so I only have to type in one number. So I got 5.8, bump that puppy up, and then we can go up here to our other one, our diameter, double click, so we just do the one number, 5.8, and maybe we can check that. It's pretty close, so maybe we have it thicker prongs, so we can do a little bit more nudge on it. So let's take it to something like a 3.4, and then come down here to our nudge and do a 3.4 as well. So something like that, right? And we'll just go ahead and accept that. All right, now let's go ahead and grab this curve, and what we're going to do is put beadwork. We don't have to really fillet it, because what we can do is we're going to go ahead and go to solids and put some beading on it. So let's go ahead and let's move this over so it's maybe more in our center there. And then we'll just grab this one and drag it around and move this one as close as possible without going past. And first thing we want to do is get our size down. So let's take our size down to whatever we think we might like, 5.0, and then we'll just butt them in a little bit closer. So we have something like this going on, okay? And that looks okay to me, and those beads should come up, and I don't mind that little look coming around the side, so we'll just do that there, right? Okay, so far so good. Now we'll select this, and these. I just want to check, make sure my solid is closed. Okay, so go ahead and select everything. Let's change these beads to a nice bright red so we know that they're not joined together yet. Select those, those. And what we'll do is we'll go to transform. We'll go to polar array. We'll go over to our polar array, drop it down to a Z direction. object count, we're going to take it up to 6 because we have 6 prongs, so it butts them all nicely against those prongs. And we're going to say that's good to go. Okay, so we have all that out there. Yeah. Okay, and we have it inside there. All right. So what we're going to do now, let's see. Okay. All right, I'm actually going to pause the video here for a second and drink me some coffee and hit the bathroom, and then I'll be right back. So just apologize for that. So we'll hit pause.